What happened tonight in Venezuela was not routine, it was not symbolic, and it was definitely not accidental. This was a direct and dangerous move by the United States, a move that pushes years of hostility into open confrontation. For a long time, the United States and Venezuela have been enemies in everything but name. Sanctions, threats, political pressure, proxy moves, all of it was already there. But tonight, that invisible war became real. Late into the night, U.S. forces launched a series of powerful airstrikes across Venezuela, and the heart of those strikes was the capital Caracas. Explosions lit up the city, one after another, not on the outskirts, not in remote deserts, but right over the political and military core of the country. Videos appearing in real time show multiple targets being hit with precision, fireballs rising into the sky, shockwaves rippling through neighborhoods, and in at least one location, a massive secondary explosion, the clear sign of a weapons or ammunition depot being destroyed. This was not about sending a warning. This was about showing control. The message was clear: the United States can strike anywhere, anytime, even in the center of Venezuela's power. But the real turning point came moments later. As the smoke was still rising over Caracas, new footage emerged, and this footage changed everything. U.S. Chinook helicopters were seen flying low over the capital. These are not attack helicopters. They do not hunt targets. They do not provide air support. They carry troops, and that single detail takes this operation to an entirely different level, because airstrikes are one thing, but helicopters mean boots on the ground. It strongly suggests that U.S. forces have entered Venezuelan territory, most likely special operations units, highly trained, fast-moving, and sent in for one reason only: a mission that cannot be done from the air. This is the moment where the conflict leaves the sky and touches the ground. The strikes reportedly began after U.S. Air Force and Navy aircraft in the region went dark, shutting off their transponders. That is something militaries do when they want to operate unseen, when the risk is high and the objective is critical. This was not chaos, this was coordination. Confirmed targets include the General Francisco de Miranda Air Base, a facility that has been under military control for years and carries deep political symbolism inside Venezuela. Additional strikes were reported near Higueroti Airport and along the northern coastline near La Guaira. All these locations share one thing in common: they sit along key air corridors, they protect the capital, they support air defense systems, which means the purpose becomes obvious. The United States was clearing the skies, radar sites, surface-to-air missile systems, command nodes, everything that could threaten incoming helicopters had to go first, and that tells us something important: the United States did not strike blindly. It struck with confidence, confidence that Venezuela's air defenses would not stop them, confidence that resistance on the ground would be limited, and confidence that whatever comes next is worth the risk. So the question becomes unavoidable: why now? The answer lies in one name: Maduro. For Washington, Maduro has long been a problem that refused to disappear. Sanctions failed to remove him. International pressure failed, internal uprisings collapsed, and tonight's operation feels different from everything before it. This does not look like punishment, it looks like decisive action. Sending special forces into the capital of a sovereign country is not something done lightly. It suggests that the objective is specific, urgent, and time-sensitive. There are only a few reasons to take such a gamble, and regime removal sits at the top of that list. The presence of U.S. helicopters over Caracas raises another uncomfortable possibility: that parts of Venezuela's military may not resist at all, because if strong resistance was expected, helicopters would never be the first move. This creates the suspicion that something is happening behind the scenes, that some generals may be standing down, that loyalty to Maduro may already be cracking. If that is true, then Maduro's greatest threat is not American firepower, it is isolation. An isolated leader, cut off from protection, becomes vulnerable very quickly. At the moment, information remains limited. The fog of war is thick. But one thing stands out: there has been no immediate, overwhelming counterattack, and in moments like this, silence can be louder than explosions. For Venezuela, the consequences of this night are enormous. This could be the beginning of the end of an era, or the beginning of chaos. For the United States, this is a high-stakes gamble, one that risks regional instability, international backlash, and long-term consequences across Latin America. But one line has clearly been crossed. This is no longer a shadow conflict, no longer a battle of words, sanctions, and speeches. The United States and Venezuela are now in direct confrontation, and whatever happens next, will not just shape Venezuela's future. It will define how far the United States is willing to go to reshape power beyond its borders. This operation is still unfolding, more details will emerge, and the story may become even more dramatic. We are watching a moment that could change history. Stay tuned.